Hello and welcome to your regularly scheduled version review. Today we're taking a look at version 6.2 or Luna 3 of the Nodocry patches. The live stream has happened, the holidays are almost over, and we gotta check this version. Next version is going to be Lantern Rite, so I guess they were saving the good stuff for then because, well, this version was not empty exactly, but I think everybody was like, can we just skip to 6.3 already? So yeah, 6.2, we got two new acts of the Archon quest, main event. We got Durin's story quest, which was treated very specially. We will talk a little bit about that. And then, the classic other minor events in Stygian. Like, nothing really special. They really are set on having two Archon quest acts per version on the Luna patches, which is not the best idea, as we will see in this version review. And yeah, like they really want to run this out because honestly, like with the teases with spoilers, Dotore. Now, how exactly are you gonna make two full freaking acts from the next version? It should just be one act of beating the shit out of Dotore, right? And you will see again with my opinions on this Archon quest that if they do the same thing they did here, I'm not really gonna be that happy with the Archon quest of 6.3. And you know what, let's get into 6.2's Archon quest Act 5 and Act 6 if I'm correct. Well, my first, of course, starting with Act 5, was that it was very boring. Like, the whole thing just drags out so freaking much because it's just a repeat of Columbina has disappeared, and Columbina, like, you need to find her name. Columbina has no name. Find her name. She doesn't know her name, and it's just back to back to back of this exact thing just being repeated with just a different character on the screen. And all of that just to end up calling her Columbina, which who could have guessed? Oh wait, every fucking body, from the first fucking second of you need to find Columbina's name, you're gonna call her Columbina. You know very well 6 fucking years into this game, we're not changing her name. It's as simple as that. They're not pulling another Scaramouche. Scaramouche was a very specific situation. They're not pulling a Scaramouche with Columbina. It is very clear. So it's gone. Her name is going to be Columbina. So to waste 1.5 freaking hours doing this exact same thing, she doesn't have a name, find her name, doesn't remember her name, blah blah blah, just to kill her Columbina. It was superbly boring, just going left and right, left and right. The Alice and Nicole segments definitely had nice moments, but those two alone are not enough to save the entire act. You can very easily feel how much they wanted to drag out the act just to call it an act, instead of having one act which was just a little bit like half an hour max of choosing a name for Columbina rather than finding a name, let's be honest, and then the other act. Like, I don't know why they didn't do this, but now you're stuck with 3 freaking hours of 2 acts where one of them is really shit. But yeah, like segments like playing as the Traveler, only to waste then 10 minutes doing the same thing with Columbina. Like, I don't need 10 plus minutes to see that Columbina is disappearing and now she's just hanging around as a ghost. You don't need that. You don't need to walk 5 steps, cutscene with Columbina talking, walk 5 steps with Columbina talks, and this is repeated again and again. Or the Hyperborea stuff, which was very, very clearly dragged out for no reason. Like, nice lore tidbit, but then the whole Kuvaki automated rails and then just pressing a button to unblock the path. Woohoo! Can't wait to waste 10 minutes doing that. And then, holy shit, the go around like a freaking idiot, swapping stones just to make the stairs was not good. Like, at that point exactly when I reached that point, which were like, the path is blocked or doesn't exist, we gotta fill in these two like things with stones to make the stairs, I was like, oh, I can tell you've got no content whatsoever and you're dragging this out. So yeah, Act 5 was really shit. As for Act 6, it was fine. The festival with Columbina has a lot of nice interactions. You know, they simply really want to have 2 acts per version. And just by the time I reached the festival, I was so tired and bored because of the previous act that I can't say it made me enjoy Act 6 like crazy. Not that I ever would necessarily say that I enjoyed it like crazy, because I don't really care for Columbina that much, but genuinely on a more objective note, to tell you that it was a good act, I kind of can't, because of how boring again the entire you'll feel from playing Act 5. You simply cannot ignore Act 5, right? Like, that's the thing for this version, and just say that, oh yeah, the Archon quest was good because of just Act 6. Nevertheless, good stuff with the interactions. You get Primos as well for doing the minigames. They could have guided maybe the player first towards the candy stall, because if you leave that for last, since it's also not marked on the map, you have all of the marks with the characters, the playable characters, and yeah, this stall isn't marked, and if you interact with it, you know, you get the candy, and then you have to go and interact with everybody again to get the extra lines, and that's exactly what I freaking did. And so, like, yeah, you could have, like, you know, guided the players to go here first and then go to everybody else, so that you don't need to do the thing twice. So yeah, as for everything else, yeah, the interactions were okay. I will admit, I did not like the lollipop scene with Columbina. No, it was not good. Not for the waifu bait stuff, not really for that. It just was not good. I did not like it. No. The still that they had, the drone thingy, no. Like, I won't call it like, oh, mischaracterization of Columbina shit, but like, you know, it was a little bit, you know, definitely it was a little bit. It was definitely a little bit, you have to admit that, but like, I just didn't like the, not implications, it just wasn't a nice scene, honestly, compared to all of the other ones. Like, none of the other ones were like that. Anyways, all of that though, all of Act 5 and Act 6 was to just finish with, and then Dotore appeared. That's the main point of the entire 2 acts of this. And then Dotore appeared. We shoved Reri into space, now we gotta bring somebody else to take the spotlight of villain. And it's Dotore. I mean, cool, he fucking Zawara does the entire thing, and then, you know, and then Traveler's able to move. So I guess he has the same type of powers. But yeah, like, he just fucking stops time and shit, and like, he just, Columbina just fucks right off. And that's it, that's where we're left. I mean, yeah, main negative point, though, from the Archon quest, that pissed everybody off, I know a lot of you, is the inability to do the weekly Columbina stuff. And if you logged out, if you, oh poor soul, logged out in Nodecry, you are completely fucked. This one pissed me off a lot as well. I missed 1 week of the Columbina thingy, because I think there's something that I didn't mention in the other version reviews. There's no fucking, like, notification for it. Oh, you can notify me for the stupid teapot and the stupid TCG garbage, but no, God forbid you notify me about the weekly Columbina shit. Oh, but the icon changes. Oh yeah, the icon changes. Too bad that in order to teleport to the Nodecry main teleport point next to, you know, next to the Adventurers Guild, the map zooms in exactly as much as to hide the icon. And also, but I ask you, tell me, just like that, when the fuck does this thing reset? Tell me, because the reputation quests and the bounties reset every week. They reset every Monday. That makes a lot of sense. The weekly Columbina shit, you fucking tell me. Does it reset every Monday? No. Does it reset every Wednesday because that was when the patches drop? No. Does it reset every, I don't fucking know, Thursday, Saturday or Sunday, which was when I finished the first acts of the Archon quest? When does it do? When does it reset? Like, that's the thing. No notification, plus the weird resetting day, it pissed me off a lot. And now that you're not able to do them, holy shit, yeah, I missed 1 week, as I said, and I knew from leaks and stuff that I wouldn't be able to start, that if I started the quest, I wouldn't be able to do them, and I said to myself, okay, I will not start the quest and catch up to this 1 week, and then do the quest, but because I logged out in front of the Nodecry, in front of the Adventurers Guild, and that's when the quest starts, I got fucked and it started anyway. Thanks. Not even some sort of fucking warning or something. Hey, you won't be able to do this bullshit in game because they did it on fucking Twitter, I believe. Oh, thanks, man. 1 week after the quest has dropped, you tell me on Twitter that I'm gonna get fucked? Come on. So yeah, no warning or anything whatsoever before you start the quest that don't do this shit. You still have to do the freaking weekly stuff, the Selene Chronicles, maybe started later. Fuck and you. It pissed me off. It pissed a lot of people off. Yes, it makes sense context-wise and story-wise, but this is bullshit. Then, if you're gonna stop this shit, right, if people aren't gonna be able to progress the Selene Chronicles for a whole fucking patch, which is 1 month plus, then maybe do not tie them to something that is going to disappear. Like, come on. Seriously? Imagine if in Natlan, one of the tribes just got fucked completely, got destroyed by like Act 2 or something, the second patch, and then you needed to wait a whole patch for them to rebuild the tribe to fully do their weekly shit. Like, imagine if that happened. Like, this is the exact same thing. It pissed me off. It is a really big negative point, I'm sorry. Because by now, for the other weekly stuff, the other reputation quests, by now, we would have the glider. And you know very well, that's the main reason. Oh, I guess they wanted to do it with Columbina's fucking release, Not for those that missed them, though. Not for those that missed those weeks. They ain't getting it. They ain't getting those with Columbina's release. Man, the more I talk about, the more angry I get. Anyways, that's the Archon quest. Act 5 was garbage. It was really bad. The pacing was shit. The content was shit. It was bad. Act 6 was much, much better, but you gotta take Act 5 into account, and yeah, Act 6 was fine. Like, nothing really crazy happened. The entire act is the festival. The only really important thing is Dottore, and that's about it. It's nice characterization for, again, all of the interactions, but that's it. That's it. Anyway, on other story-related stuff, the Durin quest did not need to be 5 days. 5 calendar days. There is literally no freaking reason. Absolutely. There is nothing, literally nothing, that makes this quest need 5 whole freaking days of you needing to wait. Absolutely nothing. It should just use the clock to advance the days and nothing else. If it was like really big segments, then yeah, but they weren't really big segments. Each segment was like 20 minutes max. So yeah, like, there's literally no reason for this thing to be 5 days. We're not in Simulanka. This ain't a summer event or an event at all. It did not need to be 5 whole freaking days as well. Like, a whole ass week basically to do this shit? No, just to get a really basic reskin of Durin as well. Like, no. It was a good quest. Like, it had really nice stuff, but it didn't need to be 5 days, because by the time you do these 5 days, the pacing just kills itself. Anyway, yeah, that's the story-based stuff for this version. Let's get into the events and finish this off. The main event of this version is a Natlan SAS Mondstadt event in Dragonspine, and then the minor events is, aside from Stygian, a pinball event, your regular shitty co-op event, and Liben. Oh my god, he's back! He's back to tell you, hey, next version 6.4 is Dorman Port, baby. We're getting a Mondstadt expansion. Holy fuck! Finally? Holy shit! And yeah, he also mentioned Lantern, right? But we already knew about that. But yeah, Liben's back. Hell yeah. Anyway, events. Main event was absolute trash. The story was horrendously boring and garbage. It doesn't help that I hate Varesa and care very little for Zilonen, but it seems that MiHoYo doesn't want to put anything important lore-wise in the main events anymore, unless they make it permanent like Lantern right next patch, because it's Zibai's story quest basically. And so it seems that main event stories are just going to be a Miliastra NPC and their shitty storylines that nobody gives a fuck about because you're never seeing them again. It was garbage. Though, like, people were like, "Oh, the nice message." Like, brother, the nice message. I've seen messages like this thousands of times with a shitty presentation with a Miliastra NPC, and like, come the fuck on. Like, seriously? Yeah, so it seems that main events are completely fucked, ladies and gentlemen, I guess, because yeah, like, it's going to be about Miliastra NPCs unless they do a full 180 and they're bringing back lore important stuff, because yeah, with the Sumeru event that did fuck all, and then this event, it's looking very downhill. On the side of minigames, there was Wind Trace that I didn't touch because I don't like it, though thankfully you didn't miss any rewards from the main stuff, which was the weapon, which this weapon was fine, I guess, for somebody like Autoron. I saw some people wish that the weapon gave a team-wide attack buff, but oh my poor soul, not at all. So this weapon is kind of garbage. But yeah, you didn't miss any of the weapon refines, nor the crown, somehow. So not playing Wind Trace was a good thing for me. And then you just missed, the primos that you get from doing stuff in it. So thanks. Yeah, genuinely, none of the main rewards I didn't miss. Good. Then there was a combat minigame that was extremely unsatisfying, like the previous main event. There were specific buffs on the stages, like every time, and then you picked effects that raised the points you got when you triggered reactions or defeated enemies under specific circumstances, like being shielded. The problem was that the scores needed to get the rewards, or stars, was extremely low, and super easy to get, and getting anything above that, which was super easy, as I said, felt like nothing and an absolute waste of time. You could get like 2 million points out of the 200 or 400,000 that the event wanted, and nothing was given to you. Not some special like end screen, like a special star reward, nothing like that, man. I played the first stage, I just destroyed it with Nouvillette and got 2 million points, and then nothing. And then I see the requirements for 3 stars is like 300,000, and I'm like, brother, what's the point then? So yeah, like, why the fuck are we making all of these combat events so unsatisfying? Have some sort of special reward. Say, you get 1 million points, here's a special thingy, like something, man. Next minigame was this auto-running Saurian thing that was boring as balls. It was slow as fuck, even though we have a character in this fucking event that is, that goes fast. They decided to use a slow-moving dipshit, and the stages had nothing interesting. You were supposed to dodge stuff because colliding with walls and shit reduced your score, but the obstacles might as well not exist with how brain dead they were to avoid. Like, I think literally only the last stage forced you to jump. Yeah, to jump. All of the other stages just go left and right like a freaking idiot, because again, this thing was auto-running, and just, congratulations, you did the brain dead thingy. And last was this snowball throwing minigame. It's basically like a carnival game, and at best, I would call it harmless. It was very brain dead. No really interesting gimmicks or anything. And the thing is, because you will see my opinions on one of the minor events, that, yeah, such minigames like the snowball thingy, they don't need to be overtly complicated and like brain-teasing, like playing fucking chess, training your mind. But when I have to play 7 to 10 stages of the same thing again and again and again, it quickly, very quickly, from like stage 2, becomes a chore to play them. And like, any sort of like satisfaction or fun drops to 0 or minus. So yeah, at best I would call this snowball thingy like harmless. But when I have like 7+ stages compared to like the 3 or 4 of the combat one, which wouldn't help a ton, you see how my opinions are formed. Then again, it matters because of the minor event that I'm gonna mention. So all in all, this was one of the worst stories for main events, and as for the minigames, they were on the bad side for like stupid reasons, honestly. You could very easily make the auto-running thing not an auto-running thing and make it faster and like interesting and not brain dead. And the combat minigame, of course, as I said, you could very easily not make it unsatisfying to play. Which moves me to quickly cover the pinball event before Stygian, and it was perfectly fine. I am a fan of pinball and have played bad and good pinball games and minigames inside of games, and this one was just a basic pinball minigame. Could it be better? Absolutely. If you think that pinball machines and stuff are just don't lose the ball, like don't let the ball fall in the middle, you are very wrong. Pinball machines and stuff are very, very different. Very, very intricate actually, with like doing missions and hitting specific targets. It's again like super like detailed. So this was like very basic. And such things were missing here. Heck, the main pinball thing of like different boards, which is mostly for like which was mostly for digital ones, or like, you know, the rails and stuff, like elevation and things, it would make this event much better. Actually, there was a different board, but it was only on the last stage. Like nowhere else did you go into a different board or something. Like interesting rails and stuff, like the things that make pinball. Anyway, it was fine. Like, it was a fine event. The physics weren't perfect, but I prefer this much more to shitty clones of Flash games from the 2000s that are done super shitty and are just boring as balls. This is much better. And then let's go to Stygian. Oh boy, the Johns are back, and now Geo Traveler and Zhongli join her. You must have seen the dire kills of the Saurian with them, and it was actually much easier than the previous Stygian to pull this shit off. And honestly, this boss was very annoying to fight, because he needed ranged pyro to break the shield, and if it wasn't a pyro bow, it was Durin because his abilities stick to the enemy. I did do some fun strats with Albedo and Zhongli boosting up Hutao or like Arlecchino to hit the shield. That was very fun, but this boss was like, meh. Actually, in the beta, and I warned for this, in the beta, this thing was meant to take full damage because it was supposed to be a Venti shield. But then they saw the shit that we did with John and the Fatui operative, and they said, fuck you, fuck the full damage, it's a cryo shield now. Yep. Yeah, did you know that? Yeah, it's the roller coaster of following the beta and leaks, unfortunately. As for the other bosses, there was the Baptist, which was hell, honestly. He wasn't really there to, like, he doesn't have a very specific shield team. It's definitely not from the banners. And from what I saw, most people just leaned to like a premium Nefer team to clear. Like, I didn't see anybody clear there with any other strats unless you were using some super insane brute force with like C6, you know, like insane meta stuff. Like, most people just used Nefer, which, yeah, Dendro was kind of the best with Hydro in there, so yeah, Nefer makes sense, and yeah, that's about it. You had Nefer Lama, you most likely cleared Dire. For me, I of course didn't clear Dire because I cleared the I did difficulty 5 with Tinari actually, and he did really good. And then when I went to Dire, he did like half the health, and that's fun. And last was the experimental field generator with its very interesting 600% attack buff once you jumped really high. Really good strats on this one, but its HP was, and I remember from the beta, jacked to the max because of the buff, which meant that you were fucked. Even with the buff, you needed some really good damage to get even close to beating Dire. My Xiao, doing more than 300,000 per plunge, would reach like maybe half of its HP on Dire. It was a super Varesa shield with her premium team, or even non-premium team, of course, with Constellations. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Gaming does do well, but also you need like full-on Constellations on a Gaming team to maybe clear Dire. So yeah, and there were some cool strats with Flints, but you definitely needed an Effa with Flints, because you can't plunge. Thanks. Just imagine if we could plunge with like a child or Flints on this boss. It would have been really nice, but fuck no. Of course not. So yeah, with Flints, you had to be really, really careful to do some plunges and dodge the shockwaves and then be able to get the buff. So you basically need an Nefa to have a lot of damage and a shield. So Stygian thankfully wasn't complete cancer, but it continues to be Stygian as shitty mode. So, you know, like, it was a little bit better shit than complete shit. And then last is the co-op event. I saw it had Saurians, So, man, forced shitty co-op and Saurians, they're just asking for me to stay away from this garbage. Actually, I didn't even hear a single soul even talk about this event, so I guess it just entered through one ear and just exited out the other for many others, even those who played it, I guess. That's how much people didn't care about this event at all. And honestly, playing co-op in Zenless as well, man, miHoYo, their netcode is simply not made for co-op, PvP, or anything combat oriented as well, or even these co-op events in Genshin, man. I've had so many times where they forced me to play this shit for rewards, and just, it did not work well. Ping issues or desync issues in Zenless, man, I couldn't do a single stage of their co-op event without something breaking. Either somebody crashed or disconnected, or the game just flat out broke. Completely broke. They simply do not have the netcode for this, man. At all. So why the fuck are you forcing people into co-op, man? Anyway, that was 6.2 or Luna 3. It's really weird to remember that the Lunar one is one number ahead, man. Overall, this version was annoying. Half the Archon quest was good, and the only really important thing that happened, it was at the very end. The main event sucked, and none of the minor events helped make this version any memorable. So, but thankfully Stigen wasn't complete bullshit, I guess, as I mentioned, so I guess that was the only good thing of 6.2. That's about it. 6.3 is looking interesting. It's the Archon release patch, so you know the story is gonna reach a big point, a big breaking point. And also Lantern Rite, so the Chinese need to bring their A game, else the Chinese will hunt them down. Anyway, as for videos, I'll wait the Hexarray buffs video soon, and as for character reviews, I will wait for the beta to see how Varka looks, to see if I maybe pull for, I guess, Columbina. I really wanted to make a Columbina, Iluga, Durin, and Albedo team for Lunar Crystallize or something, but Iluga not being with Columbina really ruined my pool plans, so I might just skip the entire patch and hog my pools for my boy Sugita. We'll see. Varka is looking to have some interesting gimmicks, because Columbina is just have lunar reactions on anything, which, who could have guessed? Holy shit, who could have guessed that Columbina would allow you to trigger lunar reactions on everything and buff them as well? Who could have guessed? That's her most interesting thing. But if you want to do anything interesting lunar crystallize wise, you need Iluga, else you don't deal jack shit damage. I mean, thankfully he's a 4-star. Thankfully it's not a double 5-star needed like Flinzen Nefa and shit, or Neferlauma. But that's the least they could do, right? That's the least they could do to buff a lunar reaction. So yeah, Iluga not being with Columbina, you can even get a free one, man. Iluga isn't from Liyue, so the Lantern Rite choose a 4-star doesn't include him, like previous patches. So you can't even get one copy of Iluga for free to maybe then just pull one Columbina and just try him out and gather his cons from somewhere else. So that's, again, it really ruined my pull plans. I really hope that Columbina and Zebai would be on the same patch and, on the same half, and then Iluga would of course be with Zebai, and that would really help it. So yeah, I might just hog for Varka, baby, and that's when definitely we're getting a character review. Varka, Sugita, and no way I'm skipping a character review on the boy. But again, the Hexarray buffs video is gonna come soon because the holidays are over, so I'm back on my main work station, so that will help a lot with uploading videos, because the internet where I'm at is shit. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.